I've got a seed meter out of a 1900 or 1910 air seeder. This is a new meter here, customer purchased to put on a machine. When you buy them through parts, they do not have any of the spacers in the actual meter here because each air seeder is different depending on how many tires you have on the machine. Some of them have 6, some of them have 8, and depending on how many runs per tower that you have as well, depending on how many feet your machine is wide and your spacing, say like a 6-inch or 7.5 or 10. So we have to add these spacers in the meter here to take up space so that the calibration will be correct. The new meter comes with 15 of the spacers. It also comes with 5 caps there. So if you're only running a 6-run machine, the 2 center ones will be plugged off. It does come with a book to show you how to do it. For like this one, we need 28 total spacers in this one here, so I had to purchase 13 separate ones to perform this job. The easiest way to figure out how many spacers you need, look at your old one that you're replacing, or if you are not sure, you'll want to take how many rows you have per tire, minus them by 12, or minus the number by 12. And so say you have 8 runs on there, you'll need 4. The book says to use 4 spacers. I always like to go one less than that even, so we'll only put 3 on. That way it gives a little wiggle room for your calibration. So we're going to go ahead and disassemble this meter housing here and install the rings. Some of the tools you will need, you'll need a 8mm, which will turn the long bolt that goes through here. You'll need a 15mm wrench, as well as a 13mm to take off the gear there. We'll start by taking the gear off using the 13mm. You do want to mark on top here, there's a top. You'll want to make sure that you put the handle on the correct way because it is off-centered one way. So I always like to mark it. And we'll take our 15mm nuts off here. Got one washer. The end cap will come off. There is holes in the end of the end cap that line up on the meter housing here. Start unstacking it. Everything just kind of slides apart. If it's a new meter, once they get a bunch of fertilizer in them, they start to stick. Sometimes you have issues getting the rollers here off of the actual meters or off the shaft. So once you get them apart, you got to take the end caps off of them, what they call the bearings. Take snap ring pliers, remove the snap ring, cap comes off of there. Bearing will come out of there completely if you need to. But all we're wanting to do is just where you can slide the spacer on there. I like to put the spacers in hot water for a while to help make them easier to put on. Yep, see ya. Once you get them on there a little ways, they do make a special tool to help slide them on there, which is just a piece of PVC. And you'll add as many as needed for your application. Once that's back on there, you can slip your bearing on, put your snap ring on there. That one we're putting 3 on, so that one's good to go now. We're gonna go ahead and install it back together. Start off by putting that first roller in. We'll line them up. You can put them on backwards, so you want to make sure you get them put in the correct way. They won't line up when you put them back on there, but they will slide down through there though. One way is to look at your yellow rings here and which direction they're coming out. They just slide down on there. In the very middle there's a spacer that will go on there as well. Once you get to the very top, you got to put your top cover on. Make sure that you've got it aligned properly. You don't want to force it down on the little pegs there. It'll easily go down through there. You do not want to over tighten the all thread bolts here. That way it doesn't warp the housing. Make sure they're about even. Make sure your shaft's all the way up through there. There is a washer that you'll add to the top here before the gear goes on. The gear's got two different size holes on it. One of them has a spacer that goes through it. And it's got a lock nut on it. Then you want to make sure that everything rotates freely when you get done. And this one's ready to be installed back on the air seeder now.